uh, for the evaluation of the Schwerin residence ensemble domination, and this is to be found on page 12 of both the English and French version of INF 8b4. Thank you.
Thank you. Ikomos, you have the floor.
This is the presentation of the ICOMOS evaluation of Schwerin Residence Ensemble, Germany. The ICOMOS report can be found in document INF.8b1 on page 143 of the English version and page 173 of the French version. In this evaluation, ICOMOS has received a letter on factual errors and has acknowledged some of these errors. Next slide. The Schwerin Residence Ensemble comprises buildings, parks, lakes, gardens, and ponds constructed or designed during the 19th century. In the heart of the capital of the Grand Duchy of Mecklenburg-Schwerin, it is specially staged, with the centerpiece of the ensemble's landscape being the palace residence, situated on an island in Lake Schwerin, and with the remaining buildings comprising cultural, sacred, administrative, and military buildings, and infrastructure and residences of staff and officials. This architectural and landscape ensemble reflects the historicist spirit of the time, ranging from Neo-Renaissance to Neo-Baroque and Neoclassical, and draws on the regional Johann Albrecht style, a regional variation of the Italian Renaissance. Next slide. The nominated property contains a total of 38 elements, with the residence palace as its central figure. The palace has two main axes. One, linking to the old garden square, around which stand an ensemble of prestigious buildings like the museum, the court theater, the old manor, the governmental administration buildings 1 and 2, and the state archives. The other axis links to its park, on whose edge stand the artillery barracks, the officers' mess, and Grand Ducal Hunter's Lodge. The other elements are located in the old city center, near the two main poles of the composition. Next slide. The property is an outstanding example of an architectural and landscape ensemble that's within the context of the emergence and development of the historicist style in Europe, particularly in the German kingdoms and principalities in the 19th century. The character of the ensemble is well preserved. It contains a substantial use of the historicist architectural style buildings that contribute strongly to its cultural identity and remarkable landscaping in which the architecture and gardens are reflected in the water. It illustrates the importance and architecture of urban planning as a vehicle to legitimize the power and brilliance of monarchic power. This is particularly evident in the outstanding staging of the residence palace and the rest of the ensemble in its lakeside landscape, and the constant references to European national and regional architectural traditions. Next slide. The comparative analysis and additional information provided by the state party highlights that the architectural and landscape elements of the Schwerin Residence Ensemble exemplify the emergence and development of the historicist style in Europe during the 19th century. This style is enriched by the regional Johann Albrecht style, which was inspired by the Italian Renaissance. ICOMOS considers that the comparative analysis justifies consideration of this property for the World Heritage List. While the nominated property meets criterion 4, it does not fulfill criterion 3 because it does not sufficiently demonstrate how the property embodies the concept of the monarchy or contributes significantly to understanding the monarchy as a political or sociocultural system. Next slide. Conditions of integrity and authenticity have been met. Well-preserved elements represent the functions and activities of a 19th century monarchic residence in a lakeside landscape. Despite alterations in occupancy, use, and adaptations that affect authenticity to varying degrees, the ensemble's fundamental attributes, including forms, materials, and relationships with its landscape setting, have been largely preserved. During the course of the evaluation procedure, exchanges between ICOMOS and the state party resulted in changes to the boundaries of the nominated property and the buffer zone. The boundaries of the nominated property have been revised in February 2024 to include a significant portion of both Schwerin Lake and Fowler Lake, as well as the Pfaffenwald. The buffer zone has been expanded to the south, east, and northwest take into consideration control over the landscape qualities of the site. Next slide. ICOMOS considers that the legal protection and management of the nominated property are adequate. The management plan that has been prepared will need to be periodically assessed and updated. The World Heritage Coordination Office is a crucial element to ensure the coordination and effectiveness of the management of the nominated property. A rigorous strategy for the conservation of the buildings, the interior layouts of those open to the public, and for the management of tourist flows inside the nominated property is essential to ensure the protection of the outstanding universal value of Schwerin. The city of Schwerin is actively addressing urban development pressures through its strategic plan, which aims to prevent city center abandonment, renovate urban structures, tackle climate change, and address social issues. Next slide. Here's a summary from the ICOMOS evaluation of the proposed outstanding universal value of the nominated property. Next slide. To conclude, ICOMOS recommends that Schwerin Residenzensemble, Germany be inscribed in the World Heritage List on the basis of Criterion 4 and has included a number of further recommendations in the draft decision to support the long-term conservation of the property. Next slide. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ICOMOS, for your presentation. After seeing the thorough work that these advisory bodies do, internally I'm being changed from a chair into an advisory body's fan, you know. But thank you so much for the hard work that you put into this. I would like to know whether there are any comments concerning this nomination. Belgium, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair, and we also would like to thank ICOMOS for their hard work and this excellent presentation. And we also would like to thank Germany for submitting the nomination file of the Schwerin Residenzensemble, an exceptional and well-preserved ensemble of monarchic architecture. Belgium fully supports the inscription based on Criterion 4, and I would like to commend the hard work of everyone involved. It should be noted that it was a process of over 20 years that led up to this very moment. It is therefore no surprise that this dossier is rock solid and that the outstanding universal value is proven without any doubt. The file includes a rigorous strategy for conservation of the buildings as well as for the management of tourist flows. The Schwerin Residenzensemble will be a valuable addition to our list, and we wholeheartedly congratulate Germany. We also would like to take the opportunity to congratulate the State Party of Germany, as well as the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and the United States of America on yesterday's inscription as well of the Moravian church settlements. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, Deutschland.
Ja, aber ich habe das schon gesagt gestern. India, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. India would like to extend its heartfelt congratulations to the State Party of the Germany on the successful inscription of the Schwerin Residenzensemble on the World Heritage List. India commends the remarkable efforts that went into preparing a dossier of exceptional quality and precise content. The Schwerin Residenzensemble is a remarkable testament to European national and regional architectural traditions. The dossier eloquently demonstrates that the ensemble is an outstanding representation of the emergence and development of the historicist style in Europe during the second half of the 19th century. We also commend Germany's diligent efforts in the preserving the key elements of this property, including its forms, materials, situation, and setting. India particularly applauds the strong involvement of the local communities in the management processes related to this newly inscribed sites. The Schwerin Residence Ensemble is yet another feather in Germany's diverse World Heritage cap. We eagerly anticipate the opportunity to visit this extraordinary property in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other request to take the floor. I'll now go to the rapporteur. I now invite you to adopt draft decision 46-8B.21. But before doing so, I would like to ask the rapporteur if he has received any amendments of the draft decision proposed. Nous n'avons pas reçu.
We have not received any amendments for the draft decision leading to the listing of the Schwerin Residenzensemble, Germany. Thank you.
Thank you. We have the draft decision on screen. Are there any comments? I see none. Is there any objection for the draft decision to be adopted as a whole? I see none. I therefore declare draft decision 46-8b.21 adopted. Thank you very much. Let me congratulate Germany on behalf of the entire committee for the inscription of this property. And let me say one sentence in the German language. Ich gratuliere Ihnen zu Ihrer Anmeldung. Germany, you now have the floor for up to 4 minutes for your statement.
Thank you, dear Chair. With so many words in perfect German heard in this room since yesterday, I really felt I had made an effort to give something back in your language, and this is my try. Please bear with me. Dhanyawad Priya Adyaksh. On behalf of Germany, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to India for hosting this conference and for the excellent organization and warm hospitality kindly extended to us by you, dear Chair and dear friend of my country, and by all the people taking care of our well-being so wonderfully here in Delhi. I would also like to thank the World Heritage Committee for inscribing the Schwerin Residenzensemble on the World Heritage List today. It is the third site inscribed in the federal state of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, and it is especially impressive and outstanding in architecture and in the way it fits into the landscape, as you could witness from the beautiful pictures shown in this room today. I would also like to highlight two aspects of this nomination that are particularly memorable. The first one is that the restoration of this property is a good example of successful conservation post-reunification of Germany in 1990. Over 30 years, experts from all over the country have contributed with their expertise to the exceptional state of conservation the property shows today. This effort would not have been possible without the support and engagement of the local community and authorities. This spirit of cooperation provides a solid basis for the future sustainable management of the site. The parties involved are fully committed to the necessity to follow up on this and reinforce measures of sustainability, as also recommended by the committee today. With warmest congratulations to the city of Schwerin, capital of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, and its people, I would like to hand the microphone over to the Minister of Science, Culture, Federal and European Affairs of this federal state, Bettina Martin, to briefly address the conference.
Mr. Chair, honorable members of the World Heritage Committee, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the state of Mecklenburg-Western Pomerania and its capital city, Schwerin, I would like to thank you for inscribing the Schwerin Residenzensemble on the World Heritage List. This is a great honor. It makes us proud, and it's tremendously making us happy. I would also like to thank ICOMOS for the professional and constructive evaluation and the positive recommendation. The Schwerin Residenzensemble was largely formed in the 19th century, together with the wonderful palace. It is set in a beautiful lake landscape, and it shapes the city of Schwerin to this day. With its more than 30 buildings and parks, it shows all functions of a monarchic's residence of this era in a very exceptional way, from palace and manor houses to cultural, sacred, and administrative buildings. We are determined to protect the exceptional world heritage for future generations, and we are very happy that our efforts to preserve, restore, and document our heritage, especially in the years after the unification in Germany. And we're very happy that this has been recognized throughout the nomination process. I would also like to take a moment to thank all partners in the nomination. We just heard it took almost 24 years. But especially I want to thank the citizens of Schwerin, who have for so many years so wholeheartedly supported this nomination. My heart goes out to them. Herzlichen Glückwunsch aus Neu-Delhi nach Schwerin. Greetings to Schwerin, where our Minister President Manuela Schwesig and the mayor of the city, Rico Badenschi, are following this right now live. We will be all working together on implementing the recommendations from the decision. And I can promise you, we will continue to raise the awareness for the outstanding universal value of the Schweriner Residenzensemble in order to preserve our shared heritage as a heritage of the world, for now and for future generations. And last but not least, I would like to invite you all to come and visit our beautiful city, Schwerin, to see the beauty of the world heritage. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste and thank you, Frau Minister.